Today's redstone video is one that I would consider to be very, very important. For those of you who keep up with the goings on the Hermitcraft server, this weekend I did a live stream for 5 hours, in which I dug a hole. This is the hole that I dug right here, and this is 1/4 of the hole that I need to dig, and we need to dig it right the way down to where that beacon is. In fact, actually a little bit further. In fact, I did the maths during the live stream. It's 1.12 million blocks in total that need to be removed here to make this witch farm work effectively. Now, that is a lot of blocks to break by hand. In fact, someone did the maths in the chat, and it's about 760 pickaxes worth of block breaking. That's a lot. I would be able to fill 330 double chests with stone, which would be definitely very useful, but it seems like a completely bonkers ask, to be quite frankly honest with you. So I definitely feel like we can automate this somehow, and I'm going to try my best to do that in today's redstone video. Now, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is building up some kind of crazy redstone contraption that's absolutely enormous, that clears out the full 160 by 160 block radius around the witch hut almost instantly. It's fully automated and everything like that. But remember, I do actually have to build this on the Hermitcraft server, so it has to be somewhat feasible to do in survival mode. However, I think we can still pull it off. I thought we would be able to use something along these lines here, but redstone dust, we cannot move that. That could actually be a bit of a problem. Fear not, because this one right here still seems to work, and this one is actually attached to a flying machine, so this is kind of a carpet bomber, but I want to make it a little bit more manual, because otherwise I can imagine things could go quite easily very wrong. Oh, and a big thank you to RaiseWorks on YouTube for coming up with that design. I'll put a link to his video down in the description. It's amazing for explaining 1.13.2 TNT duping. So this design right here is now all fully functioning in my world. So as you can see, every single time we retract and extend this piston, we are getting a piece of TNT dropping down. And this right here is going to do a pretty decent job at mining a good hole. Okay, so that's wonderful. Now, I'm just wondering, what on earth is going to happen if we were to push this across? Okay, so I've got myself set up with a bit of glass right there to stop the minecart from falling off. Is it going to break? Okay, so if we do this... Right, yeah, let's not do that. But also, it has broken the coral. Okay. Now, the reason that I'd quite like to be able to go across with this thing is because, ideally, I'd like to blow out a hole like this, then move a couple of blocks, blow another hole, go right the way to the end, and when I get to the end, I don't know if I want to reconstruct one. I kind of want to just push it across and then go back and forth like this, kind of like a scanner or a 3D printer or something, but instead of printing, I'm removing. However, doesn't look like that's going to be possible, because if you push this coral across here, unfortunately, it actually, yeah, it breaks. I don't think there's anything I can really do about that. I don't know, actually. I wonder if we can push it across like this. Oh! So it also goes in that direction as well. Oh, now that is interesting. So we can go across in that direction, and also we can go across in this direction as well. Yes! Okay, this is good. That means that we can build one machine that does it all. So we're definitely in business at this point in time. And now I've created the activation method for this thing. So I'm just going to be standing up at the top on the flying machine. And I'm literally just going to hold down the right click button. And that will pour TNT downwards like this. And as you should see, I mean, that's got to be getting pretty close to bedrock at this point. How far down has that gone? I mean, we have dropped right the way down to y = 24, so that's actually where we need to be in terms of this build. And then all I do is move the machine slightly further along by 5 blocks, and then I'll do the same thing again. Now, originally I was going to set up some form of manual flying machine to do this process, but I actually think it might be simpler if we do something like this. So if, for example, I was playing in survival, I would do something like that, and then, okay, so that needs to be out over there, and then if I wanted to move it at all, I'd power this, and then every single time I wanted to move it, I would just do something like that. Now, obviously, I'm gonna have to be quite careful about where the redstone and TNT lands, because things like that can happen. I don't want to blow up the machine, but that right there has just shifted the design across by 5 blocks, and that means that now, if I was to go here, obviously being quite careful, we can start mining out a space in that area too. I wonder how fast this thing is. Well, I think it's only fair that we actually find out. I mean, I genuinely want to use this thing, but we need to know if it's efficient or not. So I thought I would do a quick third-person time-lapse of me creating a gigantic hole that is 50 blocks long. So just doing one 50-block strip, making use of this kind of semi-manual, semi-automatic carpet bombing machine. And it went decently well. It all worked properly. We didn't blow anything up. It turns out I can actually be pretty crazy with my trapdoor moving, to be quite frankly honest with you. It doesn't seem to cause too much damage. And the great thing is that we managed to cover all 50 blocks in around about 22 minutes, which means that we could do the full length of the hole in about an hour. And then, what's 160 divided by 5? 30? That's still 30 hours that it's going to take. Oh my word, that's 30 hours. It's still going to take 30 hours. Which is obviously still an incredibly long time. So, I mean, I've been toying around with the idea of the fully automated process, and I guess this is kind of what it would look like. So we'd have a machine that travels back and forth, and it would drop TNT down like that, and it would gradually dig a hole, and then we'd have a bunch of them. So while this one was running, I'd start work on building the next one that was maybe 4 or 5 blocks across, and we'd basically build 30 of these little station type things, sending TNT back and forth. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the idea of automating the process at the start. I liked the thought of being manually involved, but I think the manual labor involved in building 30 of these things could merit that as being a pretty cool project. I don't know. I mean, it has been fun experimenting with this stuff anyway, and this is a pretty sweet little design. Okay, here's the question. What would you guys rather watch in live stream form? Would you rather watch me build 30 of these things right here, or would you rather I build one of them and operate it manually? Which one would you rather watch? I mean, you're the viewers that are going to have to watch this stuff, and I want to try my best to do this entire witch farm build, this entire perimeter clearing process, actually in live stream, so you're not going to be missing a single second of this. Anyway, I do hope that you've enjoyed this little experimental episode. It's been a lot of fun to mess around with. If you have, please sure to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.